Parin hurls himself 50 meters in front of his beloved's car, begging her to listen to his explanation. But in her fury, Mintra slams her foot on the gas pedal. Thankfully, he dives aside just in time, sparing her from becoming a murderer. Even her best friend couldn't stand it, and criticized Mintra for doing the wrong thing, for losing her mind. What would happen to the children if their father died? But Mintra won't listen, and blames him for betraying her and the company first. Even after almost getting run over, Parin doesn't hold a grudge against Mintra. Instead, he teases her, saying it's impossible for her to shake him off. He definitely won't let her successfully marry the assistant. Sure enough, within 2 days, Parin collects evidence of the assistant's crimes. The suppliers recommended by the assistant are accepting bribes and taking kickbacks in procurement. This gives Mintra a reason to fight back against the assistant's blackmail. She orders the assistant to prove his innocence within a day, or she won't pay him the 5 million. The assistant flies into a rage, shouting that he'll immediately expose her secrets to the world. But this is no longer a threat to Mintra, because the world will only think the assistant was caught embezzling company property, holds a grudge, and deliberately slanders her. Unable to get the large sum of money, the assistant's gambling-addicted boyfriend calls him incompetent and breaks up with him. When the assistant begs him to stay, the boyfriend beats him up, warning him never to bother him again. The assistant breaks down completely and blames Mintra for everything. The next day, he goes to take revenge on Mintra with a pistol in hand. Parin unhesitatingly steps in front of her and gets shot. The assistant is so scared that he absconds with a pistol. Nevertheless, this act of taking the bullet is enough for Mintra to see how much Parin loves her and how loyal he is. So she no longer harbors any doubts about him. Their children are also extremely understanding, seizing the opportunity to play matchmakers by begging Mintra to feed Parin, who has an injured arm. However, the happy time of the family of 4 is all too brief. Now that internal conflicts are resolved, external conflicts are about to emerge. When Parin's father learns of his son's gunshot wound, he grows extremely anxious, claiming that Mintra's company is too dangerous and urging Parin to return to work for him. Chanatip can't understand why his father values Parin so highly. After all, he's just a manager, right? Why does his father care more about Parin than his own son? Parin refuses, telling his father to focus on grooming Chanatip as the successor. During the argument, Mintra's dad bursts in and forbids Parin's father from taking Parin away. Parin's father can no longer hold back, accusing Mintra's dad of always poaching his people. It turns out the hatred between these two middle-aged men isn't just due to business competition. Over 30 years ago, Parin's father had a secret crush on Mintra's mother, but she didn't love him, only seeing him as a friend. The man she truly loved was Mintra's dad. Parin's father couldn't accept it and thought she was dating Mintra's dad because he was richer. He vowed to become richer than Mintra's dad and make her regret her choice. This fueled decades of escalating animosity between the two men. However, Mintra's family remains unaware that Parin is the illegitimate son of their rival. To prevent him from being harassed by the enemy, they invite him to live in their home. Knowing of this long-standing feud, Parin becomes even more afraid to reveal his lineage, fearing they will oppose his relationship with Mintra. Just 1 week after their breakup, the assistant is shocked to find his boyfriend has a new lover. This shatters his last shred of sanity. It's clear the boyfriend never took their relationship seriously, only using him. Since the boyfriend won't live with him, they might as well die together. After shooting his boyfriend dead, the assistant turns the gun on himself. As the assistant's death dominates the headlines, Mintra's corporate stock goes into a freefall. Investors start to second-guess the company's odds of winning the bid. Reporters barricade Mintra, pinning the assistant's death on her cancellation of their marriage and painting her as the one who broke his heart. In her darkest hour, Parin steps forward to shield her from the reporters' barbs, clarifying that the assistant's death had nothing to do with her. Additionally, he publicly declares himself the head of the bidding project, imploring everyone to trust he can secure the bid. However, this declaration provokes the wrath of the cheating businessman, who turns out to be the silent backer of Parin's father's bid, waiting to reap huge profits. Anyone who stands in his way must be eliminated. He plans to send his lover Pam to steal Parin's project secrets and derail his bid. The businessman then contacts Mintra's dad, offering him a 5-star hotel renovation project. The next day, Parin takes Mintra to meet the hotel manager for cooperation details. To their surprise, the manager is none other than Pem, who has scammed them multiple times. Mintra is furious, refusing to proceed with the project. Not only does Pem lack professional expertise and act viciously, but she also keeps physically encroaching on Parin, openly groping his arm while flirting. Mintra's jealousy explodes. She bars him from the car and leaves him behind. Despite hiking 3 hours to get home, Parin isn't tired. He's thrilled instead. Her jealousy proves she cares, doesn't it? But when it comes to work, Parin doesn't yield to Mintra and still wants to take the project. Because Pem can't be flattering him for no reason, she must have an ulterior motive. He suspects the businessman is using Pem as a pawn, so he intends to cooperate with them to uncover the conspiracy behind the scenes. Mintra's father trusts him completely and fully supports the decision. And Mintra can't say no when he gives her those puppy dog eyes. She finally caves and agrees to play along. Seeing they've agreed to take on the project, Pem believes they've fallen into her trap and she's successfully deceived them. She feigns vulnerability and plays the pitiful role, intending to use this ploy to manipulate them at will. Little does she know she's the prey. They've been tailing her secretly. Parin suppresses his nausea as he plays cat and mouse with Pem, prying for information while leaking fake company secrets. Once back home, Parin nuzzles his jealous soulmate, murmuring reassurances until her pout fades. To make Pem fully convinced her scheme has succeeded, he risks his life to ask Mintra to act out a play with him. He deliberately calls Pem and stages a fight with Mintra, making their relationship appear on the brink of collapse. Upon hearing this, Pem preens with triumph, convinced her beauty has left Parin spellbound and that she's truly stolen him from Mintra. Unaware she's the one being played, she's actually become a catalyst for their relationship. Meanwhile, in a nearby cafe, 2 other people are falling in love. After breaking up with Pem, Chanatip has found himself deeply attracted to Mintra's best friend, Gaga. Despite his wealth, Chanatip is almost entirely lacking in guile. The cunning and greedy Pem took advantage of this, manipulating him effortlessly. But his untainted, straightforward nature, free from toxic masculinity, perfectly appeals to Gaina. In turn, Gawina's intelligence, sense of justice, and bravery have made Chanatip feel both secure and cherished. That night, Mintra kills time at Gawina's cafe, waiting for Parin to finish work. Suddenly, Pem sends her naked photos of herself with Parin. Mintra explodes at the unexpected blow, storming off to catch them in the act. She runs into Chanatip, who's there to see Gawina, and the confused man tags along. When they arrive at Pem's place, she's vanished. Only Parin lies shirtless on the bed, unresponsive no matter how Mintra calls him. She seethes with a mix of fury and worry. After moving Parin to the car, Mintra keeps mumbling about how she won't forgive him if he really did something with Pem. Parin hears this, grinning from ear to ear under his unconscious facade. Back home, Parin still hasn't woken. Mintra has never been this anxious. Just as she's about to call for help, Parin steps out of the car, brimming with confidence. He then reports to Mintra's dad that they've secured the bid with 100% certainty. It turns out Parin had to pretend to be unconscious. Rival Chanatip was present, making it impossible to explain the plan openly. In reality, nothing had happened between him and Pem. He had seen her drug his drink, so he deliberately feigned passing out. This created an opportunity for Pem to steal and copy the fake bidding data he had brought. The next day, based on this information, the businessman orders Parin's father to revise the bid plan. It comes as no surprise his bid fails. Numbers didn't add up. Only then does he realize that he's been tricked by Parin. Furious, he rants that Pem is just a pretty face who can't even handle such a simple task. Pem, no longer useful, is beaten within an inch of her life, left bleeding on the floor. On the other side, despite winning the bid, Mintra can't bring herself to celebrate. She knows Parin did it all for her company, but she's furious he risked his life. If anything had happened to him, I wouldn't want to live, she thinks. Parin seizes the moment to deliver a heartfelt confession. With the bid won, Mintra's dad has approved their relationship. Now, it's up to Mintra to give him a chance. This time, her no dissolves like sugar on her tongue. She bravely admits her love for Parin and shows it with a kiss instead of words. A few days later, Parin drives Mintra to the suburbs, saying he has a surprise to show her. It's something he's been preparing since he left her a few months ago, when he lived like a homeless man. He bought a plot of land planning to build a small resort where they can live happily with their children. Mintra adores the idea and is about to tell him she's pregnant with their third child. Unexpectedly, two of the businessman's henchmen open fire on them. Soon, Parin is hit by a bullet. Just as they are about to kill the star-crossed lovers, the villagers nearby hear the commotion and rush to the scene. The two henchmen have to retreat first. With the help of the villagers, Parin and Mintra are quickly taken to the hospital. Parin's prolonged coma leaves Mintra completely devastated. She has no choice but to confess everything to her parents, including the fact that she gave birth to Parin's twins 4 years ago and that she is now pregnant with his child. The staggering revelation leaves her parents stunned. But more than anger, they feel a crushing heartache for Mintra and deep guilt. They had no idea she'd borne so much alone, and even blamed her for it. Regarding the attempted murder, Mintra's dad first suspects his business rival, Parin's father. After all, Parin's winning bid directly threatened his interests. When police come to arrest Parin's father, he panics and loses his mind. In front of Chanatip and his wife, he blurts out that Parin is his illegitimate son. How could I hire someone to kill my own child? Chanatip and his mother stand there slack-jawed, finally realizing why he's always favored Parin over Chanatip. In stark contrast to the warlike chaos outside, the hospital room stages a tearful reunion of 5. Parin finally learns about the new life growing in his beloved's womb, while the twins finally call them Mom and Dad openly.
เรียกพี่ปิ่นว่าพ่อได้ไหมครับ
ได้ค่ะคุณพ่อถ้างั้นเจ้าหญิงก็ต้องเป็นคุณแม่ใช่ไหมคะ
เรียกอีกทีได้ไหมครับ
คุณแม่
But their happiness now is matched only by another suffering. Chanatip's mother can't bear the thought of being cuckolded for years. She storms into Parin's hospital room and attacks Parin's mother, blaming her for stealing her husband. Just then, Parin's father arrives, having been bailed out of the police station. Parin's entire family are all beaten by Chanatip's mother. Chanatip's imposing frame proves useless. He can't restrain his mother at all. Just when the ward is in a state of chaos, Mintra's family comes to the scene. The innocent twins blurt out, "Daddy," to Parin. Parin's father asks in confusion if they're his grandchildren, sending the already chaotic scene into further disarray. Originally, Parin had worked extremely hard to get Mintra's dad to recognize him as his son-in-law. But the moment his identity as the son of his greatest rival is revealed, all of Mintra's dad's trust and support for him falls apart. Mintra's dad is so angry that he cancels Mintra's engagement to Parin on the spot. Thankfully, Mintra is a rock, unmoved by the storm of betrayal. She believes in Parin and promises to stay with him through thick and thin and never leave him. And the reason why Mintra's dad harbors such deep-seated hatred for Parin's father goes beyond their past rivalry. It's rooted in a blood feud that spans generations. Many years ago, after Mintra's parents got married, Parin's father, a penniless young man at the time, wooed Chanatip's mother, an heiress from a wealthy family. Exploiting the influence of his new wife's clan, he deliberately schemed to bring down Mintra's grandfather's company, which ultimately drove Mintra's grandfathers to his grave from a broken heart. This is why Mintra's dad vehemently opposes her marrying someone with Parin's father's blood. Mintra and Parin have no choice but to put up with it for a while and meet secretly on the outside, waiting for the right moment. Meanwhile, Chanatip's mother, unable to tolerate betrayal, strips Parin's father of his CEO position and wealth. Chanatip is also very disappointed with his dad and casts him out of the house. Next, let's shift our focus to the villainous Pem. Since her failure in the bidding mission, she was brutally beaten by the businessmen and thrown into the wilderness. However, she survived by virtue of her strong will and fled back to her mother's residence. Even so, she has no intention of letting go and continues to cause trouble. One day, when Parin plans to accompany Mintra to the hospital for a prenatal checkup, he leaves the two children in the care of the aunt. Taking advantage of the aunt's momentary absence to pick up something after getting out of the car, Pem takes a pistol, gets into the driver's seat, and hijacks the twins and the nanny. When Parin and Mintra arrive at the address she provided, Pem unleashes all the pent-up grievances of recent years. She was born into poverty, with an alcoholic mother who constantly demands money from her. She never wanted to do those dirty and evil things, but she had no other choice to survive. Why should Mintra enjoy all the glory and wealth since birth, and even find someone who truly loves her? Mintra apologizes to her, admitting that she was once arrogant and ignored many people's feelings. But Pem has lost her mind and can't listen to anything. While trying to find a good angle to shoot, she accidentally falls off the building. Parin reaches out to grab her but fails. Falling from such a height, even if she doesn't die, she should be disabled, right? But she's no ordinary person. The near brush with losing his children haunts Parin, driving him to devote even more time to guarding and nurturing them. Unbeknownst to him, every scene of his devoted fatherhood is witnessed by his own father, who finally confronts the truth. He was never a qualified parent, having failed to give Parin the paternal love he deserved. When his remorse for Parin surfaces, Parin's mother implores him, "Don't drown in empty apologies. Act on them. Do something for our son's happiness." He repents of his wrongs and goes to Mintra's home, imploring her parents not to take out their anger on Parin because of him and to accept Parin. Then he drops to his knees, now towing to apologize for all the wrongs he has done to them. However, years of hatred cannot be dispelled by a simple "sorry" in such a short time. Mintra's dad still refuses to agree to their marriage, but Parin's father does not give up and continues to clear obstacles for his son. He reports to the police that the businessman has been engaged in many illegal activities over the years, leading to his detention. However, due to the lack of substantial evidence, the businessman is released from prison soon. In a fit of anger, he prepares to retaliate against Parin's father and targets his son. Just as Parin and Mintra are about to be caught in the car, Parin's father arrives. Parin urges Mintra to take cover and call the police, then turns to face the businessman's two henchmen alone. Meanwhile, his father squares off against the businessman in a pistol-wielding showdown. After a 10-minute fight, Parin's father pulls the trigger first, and the businessman is killed. Upon seeing Parin's father risk his life to save his daughter, Mintra's dad is so deeply moved that his throat tightens and his hands tremble, the lifelong grudge in his eyes visibly wavering as he finally consents to their children's marriage. The two men finally bring an end to their nearly 40-year feud and make peace with each other. After weathering countless storms that tested their love, from family feuds to life-threatening killings, the star-crossed lovers finally tie the knot. Parin and Mintra stand on a lawn, their wedding photos capturing moments, while Parin's hand rests gently on the small of her back, a gesture that once shielded her from gunfire. They vow beneath the sun, promising unshakable loyalty, not just for this lifetime, but for the next, their words floating through the very resort Parin built for her, a place where they'll spend their lives together. By the story's end, everyone lets go of past grudges and old wounds. Parin reconciles with his father and accepts Chanatip as his brother. Chanatip and Gawina finally confess their feelings and find happiness. With Gaza's father overjoyed, Chanatip's mother lets go of all bitterness, no longer living for her husband and son, and starts a new life of her own. Everyone forgives, understands, and frees each other. Good deeds wreak good rewards, while evil brings its own punishment. Pem didn't die from the fall. She's serving time in prison. But karma has its way. She doesn't have an easy time in prison, constantly bullied by fellow inmates. Thank you all for joining us on this journey from the first clash of grudges to the final bloom of forgiveness. As Parin and Mintra build their life in the resort where bullets once flew, I'm reminded that simple happiness, like the daisies in their garden or the laughter of reunited siblings, has always been within reach. Take a moment to look around. Maybe it's the way your coffee steams in the morning. Happiness doesn't require defeating villains or mending decades of hurt. It's in the choices we make to see past scars, to hold hands instead of grudges, and to believe that even after the darkest storms, there's a sunlit lawn waiting for us to build our own haven. May your haven find you soon, and may every daisy you plant grow from the soil of hope, not hate. This is Maroon Recap. Check out my homepage, and you'll see more recaps of So Wayree. I'm hastening to write and edit the next recap, so feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.